Thank you so much for staying with us. Well, we've been talking about the PDP leadership crisis, and Senator Alimadu Sharif's spokesperson, Mr. Boala, has been talking to us from our Abuja studio. Mr. Boala, a lot of some school of thought in the party, in the PDP, are saying that Senator Alimadu Sharif seems to be acting out a game or a card from some forces externally of the party, trying to make sure that the party is pulled down.
You see, people tend to find excuses whenever they are confronted with situations like this. In the first place, Ali Sharif did not seek to be the chairman of the PDP, and so he could not have been pushed into becoming the chairman. Those who accuse him of acting out a script were the same people who begged him and pleaded with him to come and bail the party out of the crisis, the challenges it found itself in. And so if anybody is acting out a script, I think are those who are trying to push out Ali Sharif from this position, albeit illegally. There was a valid court pronouncement to the effect that he is the chairman. Due processes were followed in electing him to replace Adamu Muazu as the national chairman of the party. If you do not need him, if you realize that for whatever reason that you made a mistake in picking him in the first place, there are constitutional procedures of removing him. But you cannot just go and come up with a contraption, call it caretaker committee or whatever name you give to it, and then ask Ali Sharif to step aside when he knows the law. As far as we are concerned, Ali Sharif has tried to obey the laws of this country. He has tried to follow the constitutional provisions of the PDP. He has allowed common sense to even prevail on some matters, but he is not being given the chance. We have a situation where some people are playing God in the party, and that is what Ali Sharif does not seem to accept. So it is not a question of whether Ali Sharif is acting out a script. It is a question of some people trying to hijack the party for their selfish reasons.
But again, it looks, I mean, when a leader lacks the legitimacy of the people, there is a problem, because you cannot be the leader of the people when they are willing or were not willing to give you the mandate. Well, it looks so much that the section of the party, in the party, do not want Alimadu Sharif. Is it not a good time for him to bow out? One would be wondering, is he a must to be the chairman of the party?
PDP has a population of over 14 million registered members. I have never seen up to 1 million people gathering at any point saying they do not want Ali Sharif. It does not matter your position in the party. What we are talking about is law and constitutionality. So it is wrong for you to say that he lacks legitimacy. It all depends on what legitimacy means to you. As far as we are concerned,
some section have said that the reason why some section of the party also are saying that the reason why just a moment. Some section of the party are saying the reason why Senator Alimadu Sharif is insisting on being the chairman is because he has the ambition of being the president, and he wants to contest for president, and that's why some people in the party says you cannot midwife a national convention in 2018 and still be the candidate of the party.
Well, he has not told me, and I have not heard him tell anybody that he wants to be president. But even if he wants to be president, he is most eminently qualified to be, even much better than some of the people who think he should not be. And so it is not an anathema for Ali Sharif to say he wants to be president. But he has not told anybody as far as I am concerned. And that is why I tell you that when people are faced with certain situations, they try to create excuses just so that they can escape. One thing I can assure you is the chairmanship of the party is one bridge.
Right.
The presidency is another. We are at the point of the chairmanship of the party. when we get to the bridge for the presidency, we shall cross it.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Nuabla. Of course, we'll be hearing from you as it looks like it's going to be a lingering case. Thank you so much for talking to us, spokesperson of Senator Alimodu Sharif, Mr. Unuwa Buhala. On the program tomorrow, we'll be hearing from the other side. The Senator Ahmed Makarifi Committee will be talking to us on the program. But let's quickly switch gears now and talk about the leadership in the Niger Delta region. You know that militant activities in that region have crippled oil production when activities of the militants in terms of attacks on oil installation have stopped production there. Several militant activities have risen in the past weeks, bringing question of just how will Nigeria get away from this recurring issue, because you remember that several years ago, some of those militants embraced amnesty, promised to drop their weapons and stop attacks on the oil installations there. But this time around, the attacks have come over and over again. Earlier today, MEND, one of the militant group, came up to say they're releasing a list of 7 people, eminent Nigerians, and the lead was Ordain Ajumogobia, Senator Itagiwa, an economist, Mr. Bismarck Riwani, who was saying that they will be to dialogue with them. Let's join Mr. Bismarck Riwani to tell us exactly what is needed to get out of this quagmire, the attacks in the Niger Delta region. Many thanks for talking to us, Mr. Riwani. This time, it looks so much like a critical situation for Nigeria. Dialogue, some people have preferred. And your name has been mentioned as one of those that will be engaged in dialogue. Are you ready? And well, dialogue the way out?
First of all, let me clarify something. I'm not a member of any delegation. I do not represent or any militant organization. I believe in peaceful resolution of violence, of crisis. So I'm not aware of being in any delegation, neither am I having talks with anybody. So first of all, I want to use this opportunity to disclaim openly that I'm not part of any delegation and I'm not negotiating. And in any case, who is MEND? That's the question. I mean, is it an amorphous institution or what have you? And secondly, you need to be a politician. I am not a politician, I'm an economist. So my views on political issues representing the Delta State will not be relevant in the scheme of things.
All right, because, Mr. Riwani, we've heard a few hours ago that the Niger Delta Avengers are saying, okay, they will be ready on sometimes for dialogue. Do you think that dialogue is the way out of this series of attacks? As an economist, you know the economic implication of those attacks on our oil installations.
Oh, yes, definitely. Dialogue is better than violence. Violence should not be encouraged, neither militancy for that matter. I think that dialogue, because we are law-abiding citizens. And when you come down to the Niger Delta itself, there are different tribes and nation states. Therefore, you've got to recognize the fact that some people are saying that the Niger Delta is synonymous with a particular tribal group and all of that. That is wrong and that is dysfunctional. What is required at this point in time is a level-headed approach to engage constructively with the federal government and meaningful and legitimate citizens, not those who have resorted to violence in the past, who want to be compensated for violence. And also, you must understand that some of these issues are not unconnected with the fight, the struggle, and the war against corruption. I told you when we had the annual review of 12 months of Buhari's performance that
Mr. Rani, I'm afraid we have to go now. Thank you so much for talking to us. We'll get to talk more about this. Many thanks for being a part of the program. I'm Sean Kimbale, and on behalf of the team, bye for now.